Hey YouTube, it's me, LongAweighted. I wanted to come on today and do, my 10-month update for one. And then I also wanted to talk about some things because one of my best friends is going tomorrow for a consult, and she's looking at getting the Roux gastric bypass also. So I sent her an email today because she wanted to know some things, and I thought I would just post it here as well. So to start off, I had gastric bypass Roux on April 2nd, 2013. Day of surgery, I was 296 pounds. Today is February 3rd, 2014, and I weigh 205.4, and so that's a loss of 91.2 pounds since surgery. My highest recorded weight was 336.6, so that is 131.2 pounds overall. So that being said, I guess that's a success because they say that the Roux surgery typically on average, results are that people often lose 70% of their excess weight, and at the time of surgery my excess weight would have been 128 pounds, so I should have lost 89 pounds, would be 70%. So I've hit that goal. Me personally, I would like to lose another 10 to 20 pounds, and we'll see how that goes. When I first started out, I thought, oh, if I can just get into a size 18, that'll be perfect and I'll be done. Now I'm in 14s. Some jeans are like odd numbers if they're junior's jeans, I guess, so then I was like 15. And I even squeezed into a 12 in Levi's. So can't really wear it, it's too tight, but I squeezed into a 12 the first time in my whole life. Yes. Alright, anyway. My friend, who shall remain nameless for now, until she tells me that she wants to be identified, wanted to know kind of like what I did post-op because she thinks that I've been hugely successful compared to some other people that she's seen. Now, I know that some people have lost more weight than I have. They've been more successful. They, maybe do things different than I do. This is just what I did. This is just what has worked for me, what hasn't worked for me. So if you do something totally different, that's fine. Just sharing my experience. So the first thing she wanted to know about, like, after surgery. So the first week after surgery, there are two things that I considered to be like most important, and that is water and walking. Walking for a couple of reasons. You'll want to get up and walk immediately post-op. One of the reasons is that it minimizes the risk of clotting, which is a risk anytime you have surgery and you're off your feet for long periods of time. Second reason, and this is much closer to my heart, is that if you have the laparoscopic surgery, are going to be so full of gas. And walking will make you fart. And then farting will make your pain lessen. So I walked these loops around my hospital area that I was staying. Then when I got home, I walked 2 or 3 times a day. I definitely would recommend walking with supervision because you will get tired, you will maybe get lightheaded, you're just not going to be yourself. So get somebody definitely to supervise your walks if you go out of the house. Otherwise, maybe just walk around in your house. Take it easy on the stairs. You don't want to fall. You don't want to rip anything. Bad news. Also, before surgery, you probably want to get a couple pairs of like really, really loose pants. You don't want anything that's going to be like squeezing on your abdomen. You don't want anything that's going to be like rubbing on any of your incision sites. So even if they're too big, just go to a thrift store, go to Walmart, go somewhere cheap, get some big, huge, stretchy pants, sweatpants, whatever. And also with the water, now I was told that it was quite unlikely that I was going to be getting in all the food that they recommended to get in my protein immediately after surgery, and also it was unlikely that I was going to be able to get in all my vitamins, and those things were true. Here is one of my multivitamins, and as you can see, they're pretty big. I mean, right now, I'm 10 months post-op, I can chew it, eat it, no problem, but right after surgery, these guys, they're chewable, they don't taste bad, but it was a struggle. So I have to take 2 of those a day. I have calcium citrate. These things are like the bane of my existence. I have to take 6 of them a day, which I still don't take most days, 6 of them. They're huge. They're not chewable. They're awful. But, so you've got to take that. Then, I forgot to mention, you have to take B12. The multivitamin that I have has B12 in it, so I didn't have to take a separate pill for that. And then you've got iron. If my camera's backwards, I don't know. Hopefully it'll flip around. But it's one of these guys a day. And you can't take your iron with your calcium, so you've really got to figure that schedule out. So there's that. You definitely want all your food prepared because you're not going to feel like making it. You're going to have enough trouble going, like getting up, walking to the kitchen. After surgery, this was my best friend. It is an Equate brand, but it's like Miralax. I mix this stuff in with like everything. Probably didn't poop for like a week after surgery, and it was a big problem up until recently, and I still do take X-Lax occasionally. My hair is driving me crazy, so hold on. Okay. So yeah, anyway, my point was that you're not going to be able to get in this food to get your protein requirements. You're not going to be able to take all your vitamins, but you want to get in all your water. And I was terrified after surgery, so I'm sitting here with like shot glasses or like little 1-ounce medicine cups, sipping my water, making sure that I get in my ounces per hour or trying to do it that way because I was just so afraid of drinking too much or not enough or whatever. So, yeah. Another thing I found to help me get my water in is to flavor it with Crystal Light or those little Mio drops. I would take like plastic water bottles that are partially full and freeze them, and then I would just drink the water as it melted so that it would kind of remind me to drink and regulate the amount that I was drinking so I wasn't taking in too much. Yes. Another thing that was helpful immediately after surgery was to have little cups, little plates. I have an example of one of my little cups here. I have orange juice in it. They tell me no orange juice, but I like it. I feel like shaky sometimes, and I don't know. But the orange juice doesn't make me sick. I know that the sugar content could make some people dump and feel like crap, but it works for me. I don't drink that much of it, but I like it. So I have that, I have little tiny plates, and then little baby utensils. Little baby spoons, because it regulates the amount that you can eat. Because I know that I was not chewing my food. I know that I was taking huge bites and just like practically swallowing my food whole. So that's something that I had to learn to get under control. But until I learned, these guys helped. As far as protein, I did a lot of the unflavored protein to start. The Unjury was good. There is the flavor of the protein powder, but you can mix it in with a lot of foods and you don't taste it very much. Otherwise, Nectar has a couple of good ones, and EAS is the best pre-mixed, ready-to-drink protein powder that I've found. Now, I know that they don't want you on a lot of caffeine after surgery, but what I do now, 10 months post-op, is I put the protein shake in with my coffee in the morning, and that helps me get more of it down. Yeah, so I guess the main thing is the first week, just liquids, water, popsicles, Jell-O, protein shakes, broth. I thought all the broth tasted like absolute crap, so I just got the Campbell's chicken noodle soup and dumped all the noodles and everything out of it and just ate the broth. It's salty, it's probably bad for you, but I was so tired of like disgusting chicken feet flavored broth that whatever. It got me through. The clear liquid part of the diet wasn't that hard because I was just so out of it and in pain and like trying to recuperate from surgery. The following parts where you're on the full liquid and the mush, they get really tiresome. So you're going to have to definitely get creative with those, but it's worth it. Another thing that I think was kind of helpful and necessary for me was at some point I had to be like honest with myself about my weight. Now, like, I've always had a weight problem, but I would go long periods of time where I wouldn't weigh myself, and I would never tell anybody what I weighed because it was embarrassing. But when I decided to have surgery, I finally confessed like what I had weighed, what my high weight was, what my current weight was. And I just told my mom to start, but I feel like telling somebody kept me kind of accountable. And now I'm fairly open about my weight, even though I'm still technically obese by like 3 pounds. It's better for me to just be honest about it with somebody. That way I can't lie to myself and say, oh, it's not that bad. You've only gained 2 pounds, and then next week I've only gained 2 pounds, and then I've only gained 2 more pounds. So it just kind of keeps me honest. So I think that's probably something good for a lot of people to do, whether they tell their family, a friend, like anonymous people on the internet, whatever. And I've also found a lot of like, even though I'm really happy with the weight loss and I'm glad I did the surgery, there's a lot of like emotional weird things that trigger emotions that you wouldn't think would, or like realizations that you come to. I mean, like, I've never been able to shop in like normal stores, so like I found myself like wandering around Macy's crying because I can like put on a regular pair of pants or something. It's kind of weird. Also, I think that people treat you differently. I mean, like, I'm not tiny by any means. I'm almost 5'10". I'm still, like, over 200 pounds. But I think people respond to you differently. They, like, think that you're more important somehow because you're thinner or almost normal sized or whatever. But I just feel like people, like, they treat you differently. Like, people open doors for you and they, like, just talk to you different. Or maybe I carry myself differently. Maybe I seem more confident. I don't know. But I think that people are treating me a little bit differently, and I like being treated nicely, but I don't like that they didn't before, and the only thing that's changed is that I'm not so fat. And then another weird thing that I've noticed is definitely body dysmorphia. Like, if I look in the mirror, and I'm starting to get better with it now, but it's still really weird. If I look in the mirror, I still weigh 300 pounds. Like, I look no different to myself in the mirror. So I've been taking pictures pretty regularly throughout my weight loss journey, and I can see the difference in pictures. Like, I can compare one next to the other and say, okay, in this picture I weigh 320 pounds or whatever, and in this picture I weigh 210 pounds. And I can look and I can see that there's a difference. But in the mirror, somehow my mind is crazy and it's like, no, you haven't lost any weight. You are the same. You are never going to look any different. And then it's just crazy. Your mind is crazy. It latches on to whatever the biggest you were, and it just insists that that is what you look like. Ridiculous. Anyways, I don't remember what else I wanted to talk about, but one other thing is, I have noticed, or I've kind of realized that, like, how or when my weight problems began. I don't know why exactly, but I remember being little, like 4 or 5, and this continued for years, but I think it started around that time. I was like terrified of going to bed. I have no idea why. I have not been abused. I have not been like beaten. I have not been abducted. by aliens to my knowledge, though that last one is questionable, but I was terrified of going to bed. Now, as an adult, I've experienced anxiety and panic issues, and I know now that that's what I was feeling. Again, I don't know why. But I didn't want to go to bed, and I knew that I could, like, convince my mom that I was hungry, regardless of what I had eaten that day, and she would inevitably give me something. And this would mean that I didn't have to go to bed, or I could at least stall for a while, and she would, like, pay attention to me, and, like, I would eat, and that would be comforting. So I think I developed this habit at that time because it got me out of going to bed, the thing that caused my anxiety for whatever reason, that the food became comfort. So I wish I could figure out why that is. I don't really know, but I do know that that's when it started, and I'm not blaming anybody but myself. I, at a certain point, obviously knew what food does to my body, and I should have stopped it. So I'm not saying, oh, well, it's my mom's fault for feeding me. Well, like, if you have a kid whining at you, you're probably going to feed them, especially if they're, like, having a tantrum because it's bedtime and you want to go to bed too. And, obviously I'm 30 years old, so I could have stopped this behavior long, long before now. But, yeah, definitely was using, well, I don't think that I used it to comfort myself initially. It was just like, this works, and then it became a comfort after that. But, I know that I eat fast even still if I get stressed, and it's just like, they do say that you often transfer addictions, and I do think that food is an addiction. Luckily, I haven't become like some kind of addict of something else up to this point after surgery, but I can definitely see how that would happen. So, anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. I wish my friend luck tomorrow, and I hope to hear from her. I hope she gets scheduled soon because even though there's some difficult parts, I know that it's worth it, way worth it overall, and I think that it would really change her life and her future to get this surgery done now. So I hope that tomorrow goes well, and hope that this gets rolling and she doesn't have all of the waiting and hassles that some of us have. So anyway, I will update again soon, and I guess that's it.